Hello, everybody. Welcome to the free to play. All right, I'm gonna start off with one thing. First of all, we talked about this in depth, and I'm not gonna go into anything. Please be constructive with your comments, but also, um, be specific. So I had a comment, and it bothered me all day. I read it when I woke up before I went to work. It says farming primals question mark. Okay, and the epic dwarf brings big boy strength, not small. Um, they're 100% right. I don't know what champion I was thinking about. Um, I remember. So I remember first hearing about Morag Bronzelock, um, from Ash. He was very excited about the champion, and I could have swore there was a but about the champion. Like they're good, but I don't know what champion that I'm thinking of that brings the small version of strength in. I genuinely thought it was Morag, but he's right. The comment lever is correct. Morag is the big version of strength, and even unbooked. Um, and so yeah, Morag's a great champion. Again, I'm not knocking Morag. Thank you for the correction there. Um, the farming primals question mark. I don't even know what I said. I don't go back and watch my videos just to. I'm not gonna spend an hour of my time to go back and be like, what did I say? What did I say? I must have said something weird. But when I'm the only thing I can think of referring to farming primals is me talking about the Hydra Clash, where you can get like you can farm primal shards that way. I mean, it's not a big farm, it's not a fast farm, but doing content gives you primals. That to me is the definition of farming. So I'm so sorry that my verbiage or whatever didn't agree with you, but um, if you don't like it, don't watch. I don't know. It really had me upset this morning because you know I'm not a perfect person. I'm gonna misspeak. If your interpretation is that that was a misspeak, fine. But yeah, it's my thought process when if I said farming, I don't even know that I did. Was the concept of like you can get them from doing content in the game. So, um, but let's move on from that because I wanted to say something about it and we're gonna move on. So a lot of great news. Let's take a look at Geomancer. So we've got Geomancer built. And I have him. The only thing I would really want on him is an accuracy banner that I don't quite have yet, but I do have him kind of where I want him. Quick rundown on his stats. We're at 46k HP. Not worried about crit rate or crit damage really. 168 accuracy. I do want to point out that all my accuracy has been, you know, going into magic affinity, as this is for the pursuit of the missions. So I don't have any bonus accuracy for him out of the Great Hall, so that will get higher. And the gear that I have him in is marginal. I mean, I do have him in a divine speed set, which I'm very happy about. And I haven't even gone through and added accuracy to some of the. I haven't done any accuracy enchants yet either. He's at a good spot with accuracy. A banner would put him over that. Um, but for right now, I'm happy kind of with where he's at. I'm not going to put. This is probably where he's going to sit as far as leveling up the gear. I mean, maybe I level up the helmet. It's not that necessary to level up the weapon. We already have the accuracy on it. The only other substat we would want would be speed, and we don't care about increasing the attack. As far as the helmet, we do get that extra added HP, which can be very valuable to us. We've got HP gauntlets, HP chest, speed boots, of course. These are my fastest boots on the account, other than I think one other 6-star set of boots that did have accuracy on them. It did roll 3 into flat stat defense, which I'm not thrilled about. It also has 1 into crit rate. These boots would likely be better on another character. However, after I built him focusing so much on accuracy, he was quite slow, and I really wanted him to be faster for clan boss so that we can cycle through his A3 more often. Now, as far as the A3, I want this up on the clan boss as much as possible. Um, and on that note, I tested him last night. He was able to do, I think, about 15 million on a key last night. I think we were on, I don't remember the affinity that we had last night. I'm sure someone will probably go back and tell me in the comment, but um, he has basically proven that he can instantly replace um, Coffin Smasher, and he has on my team. You'll see we did 36 million across 3 keys. So that's what, like 12 million a key. Um, and I'm very happy with the progress here. So I am going to show him to you in the team, and you'll see just how the damage stacks up. But he has blown Coffin Smasher out of the water there. The last thing I wanted to do was masteries. So if I was, there may be a time where I switch to the support tree because I want to hit high accuracy levels. But for right now, we're in the defense tree to get that survivability. We do go down for War Master to get that added damage out of him, as well as Cycle of Violence to reduce the cooldown on that A3. The rest is pretty standard. Um, I'm just mostly trying to get survivability out of him at the moment. Um, Now, we can also look real quick. Venomage is very, very close to 60. Again, Venomage is going to be one of those ones that suffers from books. However, um, I still may test Venomage's efficiency replacing Sun Wukong because um, even though it's a 75% chance, it's still could Venomage still could put quite more damage out than Sun Wukong, plus the heal reduction um, factor of it. That's the biggest downside to Geomancer right now is I just can't keep Quicksand Grasp up long enough because it is on a 5-turn cooldown and it's only a 75% chance to land. So we do need to get those books into Geomancer, which we'll be doing this coming Tuesday during Clan v Clan. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy with the performance out of Geomancer completely unbooked. And I knew his power. Like, I knew how good he was. But, you know, I doubt my, what's the right word for this? I tend to doubt my a bit, was the champion so successful for me on my main account because of the champion's strengths or because I was able to book them out and put really crazy gear on them and things like that, right? So I do question that kind of stuff, and so I didn't want to like go crazy and be like, okay, throw Geomancer in there and then find out that my team tanked. So I wanted to be careful and cautious about it. And I wanted to make sure that I demonstrated that for you guys as well, because quite often people will get a new champion, a new toy to play with, and they'll pull gear from their good champions that they have and throw it on this better champion. But then weaken themselves because of lack of books or lack of masteries or whatever. And sometimes you can convince yourself that a champion may not be as good. Um, One thing that I did when I first, on my main account way back when, I actually pulled a whole bunch of void shards during a non 2x specifically trying to get Cold Heart. Then I built Cold Heart up. I threw her in Spider, and she died almost immediately. And, you know, I was like, I don't understand what's going on. This doesn't make any sense. I put my best gear on her. She's supposed to be the best champion. And it's like, you just got to kind of understand where the value comes from. And, I was like, oh, okay. I need to put her in, she's weak. I need to put her in HP gear, maybe some defense gear, and find other ways to get the crit rate and damage out of her, right? And so I didn't want to. I wanted to discuss the possibility of that mistake here with Geomancer and make sure that I provided a good example for those of you watching the video, and it paid off. Geomancer is a monster, so let's take a look at him here in Clan Boss. I'm gonna keep it on 2 times because honestly, 1 times just makes me sick to watch. It's so slow. But we'll get to see here when he does land the Quicksand Grasp. So there you can see he landed the Weaken, but not the HP burn. So I won't get to demonstrate fully, but you did see that Sun Wukong just hit for 100k. So Sun Wukong hitting with that Weaken and decreased defense does bring a lot more value to his ability. Even Kale hitting for 60k there, I mean, that's pretty solid. So and now we just have to wait until we can cycle through and get that Quicksand Grasp on the Clan Boss. And you'll see those large numbers come out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to slow it down here. I know I said I hate it, but I kind of want to show you guys. So Clan Boss is going to take his turn. That was a bad example, but you did see that 75,000 after he did the hit there. If he throws an AoE out next, you'll really see the value of this. Okay, so unfortunately we had a visual bug there. You didn't see him take his turn, but you saw all those 75,000s. Those were all the War Master procs that you get off of the Reflect ability out of Geomancer. So we'll put it back on the fast speed. So you'll see that time he did the punch and there was no 75,000. All right, HP burn is on. Let's see him take his attack. A visual bug, but see all that 75,000? All of that. Those are, and the reason I know that those are the pseudo War Master procs that you get out of him, out of the passive of Geomancer, is when he attacks. You'll see 63k right there, 63k. Those are the normal War Master procs. So they're in that range. So it's capping out at 75,000 for when he's under the HP burn effect. Hopefully we'll get to demonstrate it one more time. Because the poisons are 50,000 and 25,000 each. Alright, there's the HP burn. So 175,000 proc because of the punch. And there we go. We see all those numbers popping up. So now some of the smaller numbers, that's the reflect damage. I'm wondering if it's affected by the decreased defense as well. Because we only see those 75,000s when he's under the HP burn. Yeah, see all those numbers? Those are the reflections. And then the percentage procs that you get off of his... and I'll go over his kit if you guys don't understand quite what I'm talking about. You'll see, yeah, see there's my War Master for 79,000. That's a regular War Master. And that's what's making me think those 75,000s are the damage coming out of Geomancer. Now we should be coming up here on the end of it. Now he's surviving incredibly long, and that's mostly because he's a positive affinity to magic. And there we go. So 12 million. So we did 3.5 million damage. Now you can see Kale is still out damaging him, and that's just because of the rebuild that we did on Kale. Kale's getting a ton of damage from his poisons, but also just a ton of direct damage from hard hits that he does because he's so well built as far as his crit damage output and his attack now. So we did a good job of rebuilding Kale, and we're seeing those results play out. But you got to remember, Geomancers, one of them was resisted. I don't know if you guys saw that, and then the rest of them that would be on the clan boss are not on the clan boss because they're not booked, and we have to wait 5 whole turns to get the buff on him again, or the debuff on him again. So, but when it's up, we do a lot of damage, and I have seen it where Geomancer out damaged Kale. That's kind of the RNG of a percentage thing. When it's 100%, we'll gain some consistency moving forward. But either way, it's at the very least, it's a lateral move right now with plenty of upside when we book up, right? Because we will increase that amount of damage. All right, now let's take a look here, and I'll show you his kit and why I'm calling it a pseudo Warmaster proc. So if you look at the ability, whenever this champion is attacked, deflects 30% of the damage instead. When deflecting damage on each enemy hit, has a 30% chance of dealing additional damage equal to 3% of the target's max HP. Now, why do I call that a pseudo Warmaster proc? Has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 10% of the champion's max HP or 4% of the target's max HP when attacking bosses. So Warmaster does 4%, his does 3%, but for every ally hit. When deflecting damage on each enemy hit, has a 30% chance of dealing an additional 3%. So decreases the damage of all allies received by and deflects that damage onto each enemy under HP burn. Debuff placed by this champion if there are multiple champions of the team, only one. So whenever this champion is attacked, deflects 30% of the damage instead. So that's when he's attacked, deflects 30% of the damage. When deflecting damage, just when deflecting damage, whether it's him deflecting or the team deflecting, on each enemy hit, 30% chance of dealing additional damage equal to 3% of the target's max HP. So maybe it's not the 3% part. Maybe it's just capping out at the 30% reflect, and it just caps out at the 75,000. Here's the thing. The comments... This is the problem with the negative comments, because I'm genuinely thinking of stopping this recording, starting all over, and only giving you like a fake refined version of this, and I wouldn't be able to show it to you in visual form. So let's say this. I don't 100% know which little numbers were what. But at the end of the day, what matters is that Geomancer does a shit ton of damage to bosses. All right? So please don't come at me in the comments and tell me how I'm technically wrong or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. He hits hard on bosses. I don't care why. That's all that matters. Okay? So, but we saw it. We saw the numbers. We literally saw all that damage get output, and that's what we want Geomancer to do, and he's doing it. So he is replacing Coffin Smasher now. I get my decreased attack from Ursula, so I don't really need to have the decreased attack from Coffin Smasher anymore. He also brought an HP burn, And then the damage reduction, well, we're getting the damage reduction out of Geomancer in the form of his passive. So he's reducing damage allies receive by 15%, just baseline, right? So we're getting that, and then we're getting the extra damage because of the deflect and everything, plus more master procs on his attacks. I am using both of his attacks. I don't think it matters because ultimately we're just trying to rotate back around. And I'm not really worried about landing the decreased accuracy. Almost I don't want to, because I would rather have, especially when we bring in a poison sensitivity and then more poison buffs and a heal reduction buff from Venomage, we're going to start running out of room um, between, because we're going to have HP burn, weaken, decreased defense, heal reduction. Block buffs won't be a matter won't be a thing anymore, and then decrease attack. So that only leaves room for 5 poison debuffs at that point. Oh, plus poison sensitivity, so 4 poison debuffs at that point. Um, the good news is that we will be potentially activating those poison debuffs because I'm going to turn off this A2. Therefore, we should be able to keep those going on. As long if all other buffs were to stay and we only have room for 4 poison buffs, well, by activating them, we'd be taking them off and then placing new ones and taking them off and placing new ones. Because when you activate, it does a tick on them. So hopefully it will work out and we won't lose damage. I also plan to build Venomage crit capped uh, and everything. Now, I don't do that necessarily for Geomancer because I need Geomancer to survive. Like, the whole point of his kit is that he's alive when the boss does damage. So we don't want him to be weak. We want him in HP or defense gear. We want him with HP and defense stats as well as accuracy. Now, I just picked all the best accuracy gear on my account, which meant that I had to make sacrifices as far as overall stats. So you'll see, like, we've got accuracy, but we don't have any like HP or defense here. We've got all flat stats here, but we did get accuracy, which is what we want. Here we have accuracy, and this is good. We have HP and speed, which I'm happy about. These are HP gauntlets with a little bit of accuracy, but we don't have any defensive substats like defense percent, I should say. Here we have HP and accuracy, but again, and speed. I would love for this to be like a defense percent. So he's not quite as tanky as I would like him to be, but we do have a ton of accuracy out of him without the need for any other like masteries or anything. So I don't need the extra accuracy from pinpoint accuracy. No, that's buffs. Yeah, this one, charged focus. I wouldn't mind Lore of Steel on him, to be honest. I may want to rebuild him and get Lore of Steel, but I'm not. I don't need any of that extra accuracy for now, because we do know that Deacon Armstrong's accuracy level is enough to land debuffs. We've been landing them, so he's at 175 accuracy. Where did I see? Oh, I was just looking at the 160. What's he get the 15 from? Oh, he just gets a base 15 accuracy? Geomancer doesn't get any base accuracy? That's weird. How many champions get base accuracy? It's just different for every champion. Feel free to let me know if I'm missing something there. Let's do this. Index. 15 accuracy. Yeah, look at that. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Deacon just gets an extra base 15 accuracy for existing. That's kind of cool. It really makes him even more viable early game than I had considered before. So, um, yeah, I do apologize if this is a little more hostile than maybe some of my other videos. I don't think I'm in the right. I don't think that I'm in the right mindset right now to be dealing with YouTube comments. I should say, but um, I'm totally open to feedback. It's just when you word it like I'm stupid. I'm human. Like I'm gonna make mistakes. I obviously made a mistake talking about the strengthen, and I don't know exactly what my wording was, but you can farm them up. I mean, it's the same concept as farming sacreds that's the whole reason I'm talking about getting to nightmare and ultra nightmare. So, um, anyways, yeah, like I said, I do apologize if I was overly negative or anything in this video, but that thing irked me this morning, and um, I'm all for it, but it was like, hey, just so you know, Morag actually does the big version of strength, and I would go back and be like, oh shit, yeah, look, they were right, you know. But the way that it came across as like, yeah, okay, that was like, dude, come on, like, give me a break. I'm a human being, and I've only been playing the game for a year. Like, I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna make mistakes, and I'm not the only content creator that does that. So, um, there's a way that you can communicate with people. So, okay. And what else is going on in the account? There isn't too much else. I think I already told you guys, right, that I completed this. So the gear is ready to be crafted. Depending on the roles, we could definitely get this gear put into our clan boss team, um, and put it to good use as far as like reducing the damage taken from AoE attacks, which is mostly what the clan boss does. So there is the opportunity for value there. Um, Also, one thing I haven't done, which by the way, this is important news, and I know we're getting close to the end of the video here as far as time goes, but I want to make sure you guys are aware. Uh, I saw this on Hell Hades. I don't know that I saw a news post about it. Maybe I missed it. Um, we are supposed to have a 3 times 4 speed gear from the dragon. So I'm actually going to be saving this energy. I'll get my quests done tonight, but I'm going to be saving the energy and I'm going to be farming dragon probably overnight tonight. Or no, during the day tomorrow when dragon gets that 3 times chance for speed gear, and I'll be using Geomancer in that team. So hopefully I'll be able to speed it up. I don't know. I Part of me wants to try and push further into dragon, but the reality is I don't have the accuracy, I think, to get down to these later stages. Um, and the best place to farm anyways is stage 20. So Geomancer should be able to do stage 20. It's a great affinity for him as well. So we should be able to get the value out of Geomancer to reflect the dragon's damage back at him and knock him down pretty quick. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and end the video there. I could have swore there was something else that I want to talk about. I am going to look into Morag more as well. The current team that I'm going for, I don't feel like she brings as much value. I know she hits hard and she's going to do a lot of damage to the boss. Um, and the strengthen is very nice. Plus the counter attacks are huge too. The ally attack is interesting too, but it doesn't really work that much with the team because I don't care if Geomancer uses his A1, if that makes sense. If I had a different team built around her, I think I might use her. But I'm gonna research it some more because I do know how valuable. Like I have seen in videos about how valuable she is. So I want to look at her multipliers and things like that. Um, and we're gonna do that now since I'm thinking about it. 4-star on clan boss. Oh, I didn't even realize she was defense based. Okay. 1.85% or 1.85 times on the defense based, 3.9 times on the A2. I don't know. It's difficult because it's one of those things where I know how valuable the poisons, especially poison activation, is going to be. I just don't know where she fits in because I do want to keep Ursula. The only way I see her fitting in is if she replaces Ursula because she brings that strength in. We'd be giving up the increased defense though. Um, so it's a conundrum. Um, but that's part of this game. That's part of the fun of this game. Let's try out different things, try out new teams, and see what we can come up with. So maybe if we get her built right and get a team built around her, maybe even switching from the speedy team that we have right now and going with like an ultimate Death Knight team with him as the aura lead, increasing my defense, and then using a champion like Morag, um, and hit, trying to get more A1s out of Venomage. So something like maybe Ultimate Death Knight, Morag, Venomage, Frozen Banshee, and then Geomancer for good measure and added damage reduction. I mean, when you can bring that all together, that's pretty decent. And it's on a really good cooldown, is the difference between her strength and as well. Um, because it's on a 3-turn cooldown when booked versus the current uh is it a 5-turn after being booked? Yeah. So it's on a 5-turn cooldown for Ursula's strengthen and increased defense. Um versus Morag 3-turn strengthen. So it's very interesting. Maybe she could be a replacement where we sacrifice a little bit of survivability for more damage. But we lose the revival part of it. So basically, once somebody dies, they're cooked. So it's definitely something that I'm going to play around with. Now, here's the one drawback, and I know we're making a little bit longer video, and I apologize. Um, by the time we get to that point where Morag becomes our next kind of target champion, we might have pulled somebody else by then too. So there's definitely a lot of flips, a lot of things that can happen. But I mean, we've already made the Venomage is already 6-star. Um, as far as Frozen Banshee, we have some time to make a decision on that. But yeah, definitely some interesting concepts and things that we're going to look at and go with. So, anyways, I don't want to drag out the video any longer than I already have. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support. I've been getting notifications all day today about new subscribers. We're sitting at 368 subscribers, so we're working our way up very slowly, but we're getting there. So very thankful for all the support and all the comments from you guys. I have enough content for another question block, so look for that this coming Sunday. I do work this Sunday, but I will try to squeeze that in. So thank you all so much for all your support, and I will see you in the next video.